Handshakes are supposed to be the polite ending to violence. In the NFL, they're just one more place to keep score. Coaches sprinting at each other, QBs walking straight to the tunnel, old friends pretending they don't see each other. These are the moments where sportsmanship completely breaks. This is NFL Top 20 Worst Handshakes Ever. A rookie backup on a bad night, just standing at midfield like a fan who snuck onto the field. After a blowout loss to the Jets, Patriots rookie quarterback Maye waits around after the game just to shake Aaron Rodgers' hand, telling NFL Network, "I'm waiting for the GOAT." Patriots fans don't hear respect. They hear their own first-round pick crowning a division rival over Tom Brady. Social explodes, talk shows drag the quote, and the handshake turns into a loyalty test. Not a dirty act, just a rookie learning that in New England, even compliments have a depth chart. Post-game in December, Nick Sirianni walks toward his old tight end Zach Ertz, a guy he once coached and praised in Philly.
Nick Sirianni was Ertz's head coach, so the two know each other. Here's their latest interaction.
Instead of a warm reunion, the handshake turns tense.
Ertz appears to go up to Sirianni for a handshake or a high five.
A quick high five morphs into an argument. Security steps between them.
Then you see Sirianni turn his head and say something to Ertz.
And suddenly this hello clip is doing numbers on social.
I'm not really going to get into the specifics. Just two people that really love to compete, I would say.
Reports leak that Sirianni made a snide comment about Ertz's play. Both sides later issue polite statements and holiday pleasantries.
There's no ill feelings on my part. In the heat of the moment, probably got blown out of proportion. Nick and I had a great relationship when I was there. We still have a great relationship.
But the damage is already meme ready. One handshake was supposed to show respect to a franchise legend. Instead, it became a tutorial in how not to handle ex-players on national TV. You can't script a worse post-game good game than this. After a chippy Chiefs-Lions matchup, Kansas City receiver Juju Smith-Schuster expects a standard handshake from Juju Smith-Schuster. Instead, Branch steps up and fires a punch to Juju's face, detonating a full-on brawl as both sidelines rush in.
Branch and Juju continue to pass by, and he gives Juju a shot, and that's where the whole thing began.
Branch later calls it childish, Dan Campbell calls it inexcusable, and the league calls it finable. The handshake line is supposed to cool everything down. Here, it was just the final hit of the day. Bill Belichick left the NFL and took his handshake issues with him. After UNC gets worked by Wake Forest, Belichick meets Jake Dickert at midfield. Dickert removes his hat, ready for a respectful moment with a legend.
Jake Dickert, he's being respectful, he takes off his hat before he greets Bill Belichick.
Belichick barely slows down. Quick grab, no eye contact, one word, gone.
And Belichick gives him the bare minimum, just blows him off and walks right by him.
The clip goes viral instantly, with fans calling it disgraceful and classic sore loser energy. It's not technically an NFL game, but it's the NFL's most famous coach doing exactly what he was roasted for in Foxborough, treating the handshake like a nuisance, not a ritual. Same hoodie, same stare, same message. The game mattered. You didn't. Most guys skip a handshake in the heat of the moment. LaShawn McCoy scheduled his. When the Bills are set to play the Eagles in 2015, McCoy makes it clear. He'll hug the owner, dap up assistants, but Chip Kelly? He can't call me. He can't shake my hand. There's nothing he can say to me. Football beefs usually live in the trenches. This one lives on the logo before the game even kicks off. By the time they actually walk past each other, the snub is already a national storyline. McCoy doesn't just withhold a handshake, he weaponizes it. Richard Sherman has built a Hall of Fame career on receipts and grudges. After the 49ers destroy the Browns in 2019, he tells media that Baker Mayfield pulled Bush League stuff by refusing to shake his hand at the pre-game coin toss, calling it disrespectful to the game. Then the all-22 of reality drops. Alternate angles clearly show Mayfield did shake his hand. Sherman ends up walking it back and apologizing publicly. It's one of the only entries on this list where the handshake is fine, and the story about the handshake is what blows up. Sherman wanted fuel. In the end, all made up by Sherman. The cameras gave him fact check. Tom Brady's post-game routine is simple. Helmet off, quick midfield meeting, disappear. unless he loses. After Super Bowl 52, he heads straight for the tunnel. No handshake for Nick Foles, the guy who just outdueled him and caught the Philly special while Brady dropped his own. Years later, same story. Foles beats him again, this time with the Bears, and again, no handshake. The internet calls it a pattern. Fitzpatrick and others say the same thing. Good luck getting a handshake after you beat Brady. On the field, he's the GOAT. At midfield, sometimes he's a ghost. NFC Championship game, Seahawks 49ers. Winner goes to the Super Bowl. Seconds after sealing the game with a tipped pass, Richard Sherman tracks down Michael Crabtree in the end zone. He pats him on the backside, reaches out a hand, and says, "Good game, good game."
Tell him again, tell him again.
Crabtree responds by shoving Sherman in the face. The handshake rejection flips a switch. Sherman unloads the sideline rant of the decade on live TV.
He's weak. I'm the best to do this right now. Hey, it feels good. We worked for this. We deserve it. Well, I'm the best corner in the game. Crabtree, don't you open your mouth about the best. Or I'm gonna set it for you real quick.
I'm the best corner in the game, turning a simple snub into a legend. Most of these are cold or petty. This one was a straight-up fuse. Once upon a time, Bill Belichick and Eric Mangini were close, mentor and protege in New England. Then Mangini took the Jets' job, blew the whistle on Spygate, and every handshake after that turned into a national referendum on bitterness. Belichick gives him the bare minimum. Quick grab, no eye contact, a beeline to the locker room. The league is done talking about videotaping. The fans aren't. Every time those two meet at midfield, slow-mo replays and frame-by-frame breakdowns hit social like it's the Zapruder film. Belichick didn't invent the awkward handshake. He just turned it into a recurring storyline. Some coaches lose by 20 and still manage a handshake. Todd Haley loses by 20 and decides to wag a finger instead. After the Broncos hang 49 points on the Chiefs in 2010, Denver's Josh McDaniels walks in for the standard post-game shake. Haley refuses, points a finger in his face, and storms off. Next day, he's apologizing publicly and explaining that he didn't like how the game was handled.
I do want to apologize for me not shaking Josh's hand.
The damage is done. The clip is already living rent-free in every handshake montage on the internet. It's one thing to be angry, it's another to look like you're grounding the opposing coach on live TV. Steelers-Ravens games are fistfights disguised as football. The coaches act accordingly. After Charlie Batch steals a win in Baltimore, John Harbaugh walks to midfield, reaches out, and says, "Congratulations." Mike Tomlin barely slows down, gives a drive-by shake without looking up, and tries to keep moving. Harbaugh won't let go, physically pulls him back and repeats himself. Hey, I said congratulations." For a couple of seconds, it's just a hard stare between two alpha coaches who clearly do not feel like being polite. They both downplay it later. The cameras don't. That handshake is now part of the rivalry lore. Before Jim Harbaugh was terrorizing handshake lines in the NFL, he was doing it in college. In the 2011 Orange Bowl, Harbaugh's Stanford team buries Virginia Tech. At midfield, his post-game greeting is so aggressive, extra hard shake, chest-out energy, that media and fans immediately file it away as, "Yep, this guy's going to be a problem in the league." It's not as famous as his later NFL drama, but it sets the tone. Harbaugh handshakes aren't neutral. They're contact. By the time he gets to San Francisco, the scouting report is already written. If Harbaugh's involved, don't expect a quiet midfield moment. The prequel to a decade of Seahawks 49ers hate starts with 4 words. What's your deal? In 2009, Stanford runs up the score on Pete Carroll's USC team and goes for 2 late. At the handshake, Carroll confronts Harbaugh with that line. Harbaugh fires it right back. No punches, no shove, just 2 future NFL head coaches turning a simple handshake into the opening chapter of a rivalry. It's proof that sometimes the worst handshakes don't need contact.
Look at him all running in.
They don't seem very happy with each other.
All they need is a grudge and a hot mic. This one isn't team versus team. It's star versus commissioner. Fresh off erasing 28-3 in Super Bowl 51, Tom Brady has to accept the Lombardi Trophy from Roger Goodell, the man who hammered him over Deflategate. The handshake is short, stiff, and so loaded with subtext, that every replay looks like a body language breakdown video. Goodell forces a smile. Brady gives him the bare minimum of respect. Fans treat it like a courtroom drama. It's not technically disrespect, but for a league obsessed with optics, it's the coldest, we are forced to coexist handshake you'll ever see. Journeyman quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick has beaten Tom Brady more than once. What he didn't always get afterward was Brady's hand. Years later, Fitzpatrick openly vents that the GOAT never seemed interested in a real post-game exchange after those upsets, calling it one of the little things that stuck with him. When fans hear that, they connect it to the Foles snubs, the quick exits, the tunnel walks.
I mean, I've told this story before, but he just pisses me off. It bothered me so much because there was no respect there. Like no handshake, no, quarterback, middle of the field.
Suddenly, post-game etiquette is part of the Brady conversation. The greatest winner ever, with a deeply petty loss protocol. We already hit Sherman on the right side of a handshake gone wrong. This is the other side, calling out Baker Mayfield for a snub that didn't happen and then having to admit it when the tape drops is brutal. In a league where every angle is recorded and replayed in 4K, inventing handshake controversy might be the worst look of all. Not shaking someone's hand is one thing. Inventing the disrespect is worse. You could make a top 10 from Belichick handshakes alone. The quick nod to Mangini, the cold shoulder to McDaniels, the Super Bowl 42 exit before anyone could find Coughlin. Over the years, the handshake became part of the scouting report, and Belichick? He turned a 3-second ritual into a storyline that lasted 2 decades. Steelers-Ravens doesn't need help, but it got some anyway. Harbaugh reaches out. Tomlin tries the drive-by. Harbaugh pulls him back, forces the moment. No words, no smile. Just two coaches doing a formality neither of them believes in. Respect? Technically, but every frame says otherwise. If there's a handshake hall of shame, this one's already framed. Foles beats Brady in the Super Bowl, then again with the Bears. Both times, no handshake, just a tunnel exit and a media firestorm. Brady says it's not personal. The internet says otherwise. Foles caught the pass, got the ring, and never got the handshake. Sometimes, the clip is the story. This wasn't a handshake. It was a hit and run. After beating the Lions in 2011, Jim Harbaugh charges to midfield, crushes Jim Schwartz's hand, slaps him on the back, drops an expletive, and bolts.
Game 2, America's Game of the Week, coming up after these messages.
Schwartz says something to him briefly, and then this ensues. Jim Schwartz, you can see in the white top and the gray pants there, yelling and screaming back at Harbaugh's direction. The Lions and Niners then go toe-to-toe.
Schwartz gives chase. Chaos follows. Players swarm. Coaches yell. What started as a handshake turns into a full-blown midfield confrontation. Two coaches, one trigger, and a handshake that nearly caused a fight on national TV. The game ends. The clock hits 0. And somehow, that's when the trouble starts.